Hey, Jen Walker here. I'm so excited to share with you some healthy Halloween tips. And I wanted to kind of start out with a lot of times it's like Halloween's one day out of the year. But what happens in your family? Like, do you guys have candy around like for the whole month? Like, what is it like for you? I want you to think of the traditions that you have and which ones serve you. So leading up into the day of Halloween, it seems like there's, a bunch of parties, right? So I'm going to give you some tips for going to parties. And then what about in your home? Like, do you have bowls of candy laying out with candy corns or whatever? What is it like in your own home? And then that totally just reminded me that I went to a health party, and this is kind of tricky and silly, but it was a health coach. It was for a bunch of health coaches, and it was a sleepover for women. Okay, so we went over. It was a retreat, and it was at Halloween time, and so they had these really pretty vases. They had a bunch of candy corn in them, and in the middle of the night, me and my friend thought that we would be silly, and we would take all the candy corns out, and we dumped them into like a cup, and then we just put them in the cupboard, kind of like, where did the candy corn go? And so we totally did that. And it was so funny because I'm just remembering that we never even told the hostess that we were being silly. So that's even funnier, right? So, anyways, back to what does your house look like? Where are your candy stashes? And maybe they need to be like really up high to give you more steps and make it harder to get to if you choose to have that around. Another idea that I feel is even better is give away things for trick or treating. Usually, like you get it a couple days before, right? Wait, like don't get them on the first of the month. You know they're gonna disappear, and so definitely wait. That's another idea. Another is to like get things that are like bouncy balls or glow in the dark stuff or pencils or like those teeth, like different things that aren't actually food. Those are a great idea. Another great idea is get candy that you personally do not like. That might be great, right? Um, I think that that's easy to find the candy that it doesn't speak to you. Like, don't get your most tempting thing and be like, I can't do it. So definitely think about that one. And then as far as leading up to, so if we're going to go to a party, I want to give you a couple tips for a party. Bring something. Definitely bring something. Another tip is that it's really good to make sure that you're focusing on the people. So how often do you go to a party and you think, oh my gosh, what treats are going to be there? Like I totally used to do that. Like I was like, okay, there's like a dessert bar. I'm going to like try one of everything. And so I've done that before. And what we want to do is when we go to an event, like what is the event for? Is it for the food or is it for the people and the connections that we can make? Think about how often you're thinking about food when you go to the party. Maybe you have a drink, like if you have something in your hand, they're less likely to ask you if you need something, okay? Because they feel like you've been taken care of. So maybe have some water in your hand or like a cup of something. And so those are some good ideas. I did mention bringing something. Find, like, there's so many Halloween things that you can make that are healthy, that are scary. Just like look up Pinterest. And then also, I have some recipes that are some of my favorites, like brains and like jello. And there's like, if you're gonna do like, you could do like a diet root beer or something like that and put in your dry ice that makes it all smoky. There's lots of fun things you can do. And so have fun at the party, focus on the people, okay? And like maybe do activities instead of having prizes that, I don't know, just make like plan ahead. Like think about it. What are you teaching your kids or the people that you're with, okay? Another thing I wanted to share are traditions. Traditions are really important to, if you have health goals, you've got to maybe change some of the traditions that you have. Some of the traditions that I used to have is we'd make a dinner leading up to Halloween that would be like really scary. And so this year, like, and last year, the last few years, I'm going to do like a mummy type scary looking thing out of ground beef, and it's like a meatloaf, and you make it look like a foot or different things like that, and use like onions to make it look like fingernails. So like you can still do that healthy. Link below in the description of the video. And then as far as, I want to make sure I'm giving you other traditions that are really fun, or like carving pumpkins, right? That does not involve eating, like just everything you have to involve eating. Another really fun tradition, and this was an easy one for me, it wasn't tempting for me. In fact, I will even show you. Let me show you what I've got. So we did, what are they called? Gingerbread houses that are scary looking. Look at that. So we did that with my kids. And I actually saved those candy corns from last year. I never ended up using them. And they're super hard and gross. Smart, right? So those were not even tempting. And so we made that together last night, and that was so fun for the kids. Whoa. And just being real with you. And then I also wanted to talk about other traditions that maybe you have that are fun. Like, what about painting? What about making like orange Play-Doh for the little kids? What about, like, what ideas do you have? How can you adapt something maybe that you really enjoy? Like sometimes frosting cookies or something like that, if that was one of them. You can actually make ornaments out of like Play-Doh type stuff and paint that with like legit paint, like watercolors. So fun. So those are some good ideas for you. And then I wanted to talk about the day of. Okay, think number one, what are your health goals? And if you choose to be intentional, like don't have the shame and the guilt, but plan ahead is going to help with that process. Because if you say, oh, I'm not going to eat any sugar on Halloween, and then you go and you totally like binge on sugar, you're going to feel bad about yourself. So what we want to do is plan ahead. And if you choose to have something, then savor it. Be very present in the actual moment. For me, like if it's something like really yummy that I'm intentionally eating, I like don't want to be with anybody because it distracts me from the experience. And I don't want like music on. I don't want my kids around me. So do what you need to be present and enjoy it. And then if you're going to do that, I want you to plan to. I want you to still eat 6 times a day, balancing your blood sugar so you're not super hungry at one given part of the day and then the candy's right there and the willpower isn't quite going. And then the willpowers only last so long, right? So we really want to focus on the long-term goals that we're setting and like tell ourselves that as well. And this was via my daughter, just letting you know how awesome that is. I think I'll take it off now. And Wonder Woman. So be wonderful in your own goals that you set. Okay, for a night of, when you have trick-or-treaters, make sure that you've eaten your dinner. Make sure you have your water and that you've been drinking throughout the day. And make sure that you're planned. Like, what is your plan for the day? So that will really help you. And then guess what? After the Halloween party or after the Halloween night, guess what's around your house? If you chose to have candy to give out, then it's all over, right? And right at that point, there's some different things you can do. You can take it to the dentist. Different dentist offices will take and purchase candy from you and send them to troops. Another idea, this is one that I love to do, is we get all the chocolate that the kids went around and got, and then I get like an Oreo pie crust shell or like a graham cracker one, and then we'll melt all of the chocolate, and then we use Cool Whip, and then like I fold in the Cool Whip, put it in the pan, and then we share that with our neighbors, or you can throw it away, right? Let's be honest, you either waste it in the garbage or you'll waste it on your waist. So those are a couple ideas. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Have fun. Okay, that's the other thing. Have fun. Like Halloween is about having fun to me. And I think a lot of times in our lives, we resort to food instead of actual human relationships and fun. So if you're not having enough fun in your life, you might be compensating with eating. So make the Halloween festivities fun for you. Make them fun for your kids. Focus on making the kids like really enjoying them and their experience instead of you needing to be in that as far as nutritionally goes. So I hope these things are helpful for you. I hope you have a fantastic week. Let me know if you have any other tips for Halloween. Thanks.